Hello guys, I'm gonna do this quick tutorial. I already made many different tutorials about how to make a cartoon in Iclone. Alright, and one of the things that we use a Toon shader. Okay, so for the Toon shader, you're gonna find it on the fourth icon from left to right, which is the it's a stage icon. Okay, under the stage icon, you're gonna have to look for the folder where the Toon shader is. In my case, this is a Toon shader folder, and then you're gonna find three different kinds of styles. The styles I usually use is the first one, okay, the first style, and then the fine art, okay, or line art. In this case, I use the line art, okay. Once you apply the line art, you have to remember, because I have the tutorial for that, so I'm not going to go over that again. I just want to let you know that this is a CC3 or Character Creator 3 avatar. And because it's a CC3 avatar, the maps that it's using, which I have not changed or modified, are from CC3. Okay, so if you want to make it a little bit more toonish, one of the first things you have to do, in my case, is that for each, I already have the tutorial for that, but I'm just going to mention this real quick. For each map that composes the avatar, which is in this case 4 maps, is the head, the body, the arms and the legs. Okay, it's 4 maps. 1, 2, 3, 4 maps. Okay, what I use is the glow. Okay, I don't want to show you that because I already have a tutorial for that, so you just need to look for the tutorial for how to make a cartoon in Iclone. And you can also modify that a little bit more just by getting those maps, transferring those maps into any kind of image editor. In my case, I use Adobe Photoshop CS6, and then what you do, you make all these a solid color, okay? And then you have to paint the nipples because you're not gonna see the nipples. You can also add a little bit of shade and a little bit of line just to give it a contour line for the chest, okay? Or you can use the same map here from the CC3, all right? But you will need to do modifications with the bump map, okay? So that you can see a little bit more of the contour for the chest and the abdomen, and things like that. Anyways, what I wanted to mention to you, and that's the reason why I'm making this tutorial, is that getting those fine lines around the avatar, because this is really hard to get, especially like if you go closer and farther away from the avatar. Like this is a close-up, okay? This is a close shot, okay? And we're gonna go to the visual tab, okay? Because once you do the Toon shader, you need to look for it, and you go to the visual tab, and then it's gonna be the third icon from left to right, and that's a Toon shader icon, and then you have all these settings that you can modify, okay? I was working with different kinds of settings because changing this number over here, it's gonna give you a thicker line, as you can see, okay? But I think the best way to go, in my case, and that's a recommendation for you, so you don't have to go through all the trouble trying to make it a little bit better, to look better in the camera for the rendering, of a video. So the best settings for me would be number 1, okay, and 80. Okay, some people use less than 80. Some people use like 60, others go to 30. It's just your choice, okay? This is gonna fine tune the line, okay, that you have, okay? Like if I go all the way to 0, you see there's no line, of course. Even though we have this one, but there's no line. But this is the line intensity. So in the line intensity, how intense we want it to look, if I go all the way up, it's gonna look more intense. Now, the only thing is that if you are making a far away shot, let me go over here like this. Okay, let's say that you, like he is surfing, okay? And then you have all the props and everything that you need, the background and everything. And it's all ready, and you are making a shot like that. Okay, so if you want to know how this is going to look like in your final render, you can go over here at the top, and you're going to find on the third icon from left to right. Actually, let me see. Yeah, no, it's the fourth icon from left to right. It's the current frame, okay? You want to take a snapshot of the current frame, And if you take it, it's gonna show you how it's gonna look like in your final render. This is the final render once you render it as a video, and this is how it's gonna look like. And as you can see, the lines, they don't look really nice, you know. The fingers are pretty much lost over here, and the face is lost. We're gonna do a close-up of the face. This is how it's gonna look like in your final render in the video. So it's not gonna look nice, okay? And that's the reason why I'm recommending those kinds of settings, okay? So if you put an 80 over here, okay, then we take us another shot of that. As you can see, it looks a little bit better. The fingers are, but you can still appreciate a little bit of the fingers, you know, as instead of looking at the fingers like all black, you know, entirely black, you know. And the face, you can still appreciate a little bit of the face too. Now, the only thing is that you see the nose is like, it's got this shade, and I don't like the shade, okay, of the nose. And as you can see, it's Toon shader, but they still need to do a lot of work in Iclone, because if you're watching a cartoon, some cartoons, they do have a shade, you know, like a shade for whatever the sun is hitting the avatar, you know, if it's hitting from left to right or from right to left, you know. And then you have the shade on the opposite side of where the sun is hitting the avatar, okay? In this case, the Toon shader in Iclone, I would say is still primitive per se. I wish they could work a little bit more on that, you know, but it's really nice anyways. You can still make nice cartoons. So anyways, this is a far shot, but if we do a close-up, let me show you, okay, with the same settings, all right? So we're gonna make a close-up and get closer and closer each time. So we're gonna do another snapshot. And as you can see, it looks a little bit better. You have to remember that the texture maps of the avatar are still the ones from CC3, okay? They are not solid colors. If you wanted to make it a little bit more toonish, you need to transfer that into a photo image, you know, photo image editor. In my case, it's Photoshop CS6. And then you need to make all these a solid color to make it look toonish, okay? It looks look toonish, but not very toonish, because the color of the map is still CC3, okay? Anyways, but it looks a little bit better, you see, and this is a little bit closer. Now we're gonna make another closer render, something like that, and another snapshot. And this is just gonna look in the final video if you make a close-up, you know, of the face, you know, which is really nice, you know, it looks really nice. So I just wanted to show you this with these kinds of settings. I also want to mention, I'm not going to go through this because I went through this in how to make a cartoon video in Iclone. But, you know, if you use this is a kind of, this is for the kind of color that you want for the contour line, okay? I chose black, but I can choose another color. Let's choose just something that we can distinguish, something blue. As you can see, it doesn't look really nice. You know, you can use a color that is the same kind of like the flesh, you know, a little bit darker maybe, and it's gonna give you that kind of shade around the contour, you know, of the avatar. Anyways, we're gonna go back. Another thing is that if you use a texture color, what it's gonna do is gonna get the texture color of the avatar, okay? So I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. So just look at the line, okay, because it's a black line right now because we have it in color and the color is black. Texture color, and then you can see the line disappear, okay? I'm not gonna say it's entirely toonish per se, you know, it looks more like a 3D than a 2D, okay? So we are losing that because of we use the texture color, okay? And then you can modify this, you know. You can move it. I'm just gonna leave it at the you know, the value that I chose before, but I'm gonna change it to the color, okay? And then we are going to move this. I don't know if we saw any kind of difference because this is the normal threshold, okay? We have it at 100, all right? So we're gonna do a close-up of the avatar to see what's gonna do. And as you can see, I put all the way to 0. I don't know if you notice any kind of difference. between 0 and 100. All right. And then you have over here, you know, you have the interpolation and the paint and the level and everything. So anyways, let me go back to the color I had before. That was at 100. So I had it at 31, okay? That was the value that I chose, okay? But you can play with those values, all right? I just wanted to let you know how the avatar is gonna look like, you know, like if we do a shot like that, all right? Let's see how that's gonna look like. That's how the video is gonna look like if you do a shot. Anyways, I'm gonna show you the render style with the charcoal, okay? For the Toon shader, that's charcoal, which is this one right here. Let me see. It's actually not the charcoal. The charcoal is the second one. It's the blue shade, okay? We're gonna see the render for the blue shade. I'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, this is that kind of rendering for the blue shade, okay? The blue shade will give you that kind of finishing look. And as you can see, we do have some shadows, okay, around the avatar when you use that kind of style, okay? And then you can go to the visual tab and then you can modify the shadows or the shade, you know, you can modify that, you know, how it's gonna look like. It's really nice, okay? So there we go. That's how this is gonna look like, all right? It's also very Toonish. That's some of the kind of style that you can play with, okay? It's not the only way, it's not the only thing that you can do. You can also apply other kind of effects. Yeah, you can go to the next icon over, okay, which is this one right here. This is for the Toon shader. So you press on that icon over here and then you click on this one right here and it's gonna show you, if you have the LUTs, then that's what's gonna show you, okay? And then you can apply other kind of effects. Let me show you what I mean. Of course, it's gonna change the entire way of how what you're looking at the screen right now. So we're gonna use this one right here. That's the kind of effect that you're gonna get. Let me get rid of that. Let me use another one, maybe this one right here. Okay, and then you can also modify by moving the slider right here. Okay, you can make it a little bit more intense or less intense depending on the kind of look that you want at the end. So let me move that. If you have more LUTs, which I do in my case, so I'm just gonna go one over, you know. Let me see. I have these ones right here. Let me show you how they gonna look like. So let's apply that one. It's gray and black and white. I'm gonna say not gray, but black and white. We can apply another one, a blue, if we wanted to make it like at night, kind of like at night. And of course, you know, like I told you, you can move the intensity, okay? And you can apply other ones. This is not the only one that you can apply, you know, you can apply a secondary one. Let me see over here. I don't have it right here, so I'm gonna apply over here while using the same folder. I'm gonna have to look for them. So I don't wanna do that, you know, because I don't wanna waste my time and make the tutorial a little bit larger. So we can apply this color over here, you know, just to give it another kind of look per se. And then you just modify the slider, you know, how intense you want it. If you want to modify the first one again, you have to choose the first one, or if you want to work on the second one, then choose the second one and then move the slider up or down just to give it whatever, you know, color you want. And I just wanted to let you know how this is gonna look like if you use the blue shade. And let me go around the avatar, okay? But for that, I'm gonna use the preview camera. I'm gonna select the avatar, and let's go pan around. And as you can see this is actually dark, and this is actually lighter because this is like you're seeing the light of the sun on the front, and then the back is gonna be dark, you know. anyways, you can modify that also, you know, because you go to the okay, the visual tab and then the tune shader, and then we can play with these ones right here. As you can see, I changed the colors to a blue. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of those effects. Okay, so I got rid of those effects, and let me go here again, the visual tab and the tune shader. And yes, I decided this is for the shade that you see at the back. Okay, let me go to the preview camera again. The shade that you see at the back is blue, so this is the color that I chose. If we use a white color, you can see that it's white. Okay, I used a blue color just to give it that kind of shade at the back. And then if you move the slider over here, the little triangle, then it's gonna give you a different kind of effect. Okay, because then the shade that is given to the avatar, okay, it's gonna be a little bit bigger, you know, like, or shorter. Okay, you see. So anyways, just want to show you that, and I'm gonna show you how the project looked originally. So I'm gonna go back all the way. This is a project, how it looked like originally. Okay, that's using the same, but I use other things. Let me just make sure if I actually know. Yeah, okay, I use this kind of effect over here, and that's why it looks like that. And then I just modify the effect, and that's the kind of render, you know. If we take a snapshot of that frame, you know, and then we can see it looks really tinish. This is how it's gonna look in the final render. Okay, of course it's missing part of the background, you know, and things like that, because it's just a test. But I just wanted to show you how this is gonna look like. And if we do a close-up of the face, it doesn't look that nice, because we need to mess up, or not mess up, we need to mess around. I didn't want to say mess up. We need to well, yeah, you mess it up, you know. If you mess it up, you mess it up. But it's better to mess it up before the render, you know, and know what you have. So remember to press on this, the smooth mesh. So we're gonna press on the smooth mesh, and then we're gonna take another snapshot. It looks a little bit better, as you can see. Now, if we remember, if we move this slider, okay, this is in real time, so probably you don't want to mess with that unless you want to know how it's gonna look like on the screen. But if you want like a final render, we can, usually one is fine, but let's go all the way, you know, to number 3, which is supposed to make it a little bit better. Let's see if we make a difference, if we can see the difference. Okay, it's gonna take more time because it's gonna give you a better shot. And then, as we can see, I think it's the same quality. I don't see much of a difference really. Okay, but this is a 3. Okay, but as you can see, it looks much better than what it looked before. Okay, the first one, okay, when it didn't have that. So remember to go over here to the first icon on the right hand panel. Okay, and then go all the way down, or kind of all the way down until you find the smooth mesh. Click on that and to activate it. Okay, remember that if you are messing with the second slider, that's for the final render, so you're not going to see that being taking effect on the screen, okay, in real time. All right, but if we put it at 1, I think at 1 it's going to be a good render anyways. Okay, but if you want to make it look, you know, in how it's gonna look like in real time, then you can mess with the first one. Okay, you can mess around with the first one and move the slider, you know, 1 or to the value of 3. But like I told you before, you know, just this is gonna affect all the objects, but you need to select the objects. Like if I select this one over here, then as you can see, it's not activated. Okay, so for every, I'm gonna say for every object on the screen, if you want to know how the object's gonna look like in the final render, okay, then you need to activate this, all right, for that particular object. Okay, but remember one thing, that if you actually activate that, and if you put it at 1 for the final render, it's gonna render that particular object, you know, in your final render is gonna apply that kind of property that you used. And with this, I finish the tutorial. Thank you for watching. If you want to watch more of my tutorials on how to make a cartoon, how to make the entire avatar to look toonish, because this one is still using the same kind of maps that the items like the armor and the avatar hat, those are the original maps. I have not changed the map, but if you want to make them a little bit more toonish, then you would need to go watch my other tutorials in regards to how to make a cartoon in Iclone, and I'll explain how to make them solid color and how to use that, in how to transfer that into Iclone so that it looks a little bit more toonish, or more toonish, whatever you want to say. Thank you for watching.